Here comes everybody. And Lori, I have made you co-host, so the floor is yours whenever you're ready.
Is everybody in?
It looks like, yeah, we've got Therese, we've got Rosie and Sue.
Excellent. Well, thanks everybody for coming. It's a really important way to spend a Monday night here before the election season gets kicked off. I wanted to start by just sharing some group norms before we get started, just so that we can all kind of be on the same page and understand what we'll be doing and trying to work toward as we kind of go through this meeting tonight. So they're very basic, but very important. So listen respectfully. That's the first item here. All discussion during this meeting will be nonpartisan without references directly or indirectly to political parties or officials or candidates. We are a nonpartisan organization, and so nonpartisan, ethically based discussions of policies, such as subjects of resolutions or statements by the EDSD or the Episcopal Church, are permitted in this discussion tonight. And of course, differences of opinion are okay. That's the basis of American democracy. So I just wanted to run through those and just make sure we're all on the same page. And here's a resource if anybody wants to click and visit the website where we have a lot of information about this working group that Jason has pulled together. And it's easy to find, and that's probably how you found your way to this meeting tonight. So this is a special meeting for me. I'm on the executive council, but prior to working with the Episcopal Church and the Diocese, I have been doing years worth of work with the League of Women Voters here in San Diego. So I'm the immediate past president and the current vice president of the League of Women Voters. And I've done a lot of voter outreach, and I've had the privilege of working with a lot of great people in this space. And I have to say, the person that I'm going to introduce tonight to speak to us on the election and voter security and integrity, et cetera, is one of my favorite people that I've worked with in all the years. Her name is Rosie Rascon. She has been with the Registrar of Voters for 8 years, which is probably about the same time I've been with the League of Women Voters. So maybe we both met at the same time of starting this part of our lives. The majority of her time with the Registrar has been with voter outreach. She was a voter outreach coordinator and held the responsibility of coordinating and providing training to the general public, populations with specific needs, detention facilities, older adults, voter registration training, speaking engagements, and supervising coordinated outreach events. And obviously, that's what the League of Women Voters did as well. And so she and I collaborated on so many different opportunities to reach out to these populations that I just mentioned and to coordinate our activities around each other. She also supports, and the registrar in general, our local registrar of voters supports multi-language outreach campaigns. And, we have ballots and all kinds of ballot information in multiple languages as well. And she's currently working as the chief of operations and supervises the precinct services division, which includes campaign services, maps, and vote centers. So this might be one of her last times that she does this type of voter outreach. So I feel very honored and thankful that Rosie is with us tonight and is available to help, make this evening a very informative one for our group. So with that, Rosie, Jason, does Rosie have the opportunity to share her screen as well?
Absolutely. I can give her that permission right now.
Excellent.
Thank you, Lori, for the beautiful introduction. I'm happy to be here with all of you, and it's nice to meet all of you. And I'm thankful to Lori for the invitation and the opportunity to speak to the group tonight. I do have, as Lori mentioned, I am in transition as far as doing outreach. It is my prior position, and so I invited Sue Nguyen, who's with us tonight. He will be taking the role that I was in and providing outreach presentations and trainings as I did before. So he is on the meeting with us tonight. And Sue, do you want to just say hello?
Hi, everybody, and thank you, Laurie, for a very nice introduction for Rosie, my boss. And
Yeah, my
I'm very
pleasure.
humbled to take the role that she's been working very well with you. I hope that, the foundation that you guys work together, I can hop on it and learn, and also be the best I can, but also let me know how can I be effectively serve the community that you are on. So thank you very much for the opportunity tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Sue. And just a little bit about Sue. So he has been with the county much longer with the Registrar of Voters than I have. He's actually been with the Registrar of Voters. He's turning 20 years this year, right, Sue? 20 years with ROV?
Yes, September would be 20 years.
Yeah, and so he's worked in a couple of different areas, but primarily in voter outreach and education for the Vietnamese language program. In fact, he pioneered that program and started, he's the one who started and implemented the language program for the Vietnamese language and assisted all the rest of us who came later in implementing our language programs. So he comes with a lot of experience, and he's always willing to help, and he's a great person. And I know that anyone who reaches out to him will feel the same. So thank you, Sue. All right, so I am going to go ahead and share my screen, if that's okay. And I'm going to do a general presentation about what the Registrar of Voters does, what our functions are. And I thought it would be nice to share the website with all of you instead of doing a PowerPoint, because I feel that our website is our #1 resource. It has everything that a voter would need, and everything that really, if you're helping the community, it's good to know where to point people to, what, to point them in the right direction. And you'll find that our website is so complete and has all of that. So I'm going to share my screen here. Let's see here. So I'm going to turn off my video so I don't distract myself. And give me just a second here. Okay, can someone?
Yeah, that looks good. We can see your entire tab in your window.
You can see the whole web page.
It looks good.
Okay, perfect. On my end, I cannot see it. So I appreciate the feedback. For some reason, it's not popping up over here, but that's okay. As long as all of you can see it, that's perfect. Okay, so it's sdvote.com. And it will land you here. If you type in sdvote.com, it will bring you to our homepage. And we'll start off with what we do here. So we'll go to the About Us page. This is our current registrar, Cynthia Paz. And really, these items that are listed here do a wonderful job of saying what the Registrar of Voters is responsible for. So our mission is to conduct voter registration and voting processes. with the highest level of professional election standards, including accountability, security, and integrity, and thereby earning and maintaining public confidence in the electoral process. So we are entrusted with providing the forum for all eligible citizens in San Diego County to exercise their right to actively participate in the democratic process. We are responsible for providing access to the information needed for citizens to engage in the initiative, referendum, and recall petition process as well. And our current population is just over 1.9 million registered voters. So it is important for our department to make sure that there are ongoing opportunities for people to register and vote, and that the elections are fair and accurate. And of course, we carry out all federal, state, and local offices and measures. So we are responsible for carrying out the elections for the whole county. So that is, in a nutshell, what the Registrar of Voters does and the responsibilities that we carry. So in these different, if you land here on our homepage, you can see we do offer our website in all of the federal languages, as well as all election material. And our federal languages are English, Spanish, Filipino, Chinese, and Vietnamese. So all election material as required by federal law is offered in these languages. So it includes our website, it includes postcards that you receive in the mail, voter information pamphlets, ballots. Everything is available in San Diego County in these languages. Now, we do, as we go through, I'll talk a little bit more about other languages that we support in San Diego County as well, but these are our federal required languages that you see election material in. Okay, so we'll start off with the process, right? If somebody wants to vote, the very first thing is registering. That's where everything kicks off. So voters have the ability to register to vote in many ways. It could be done through the DMV, it could be done at the post office. You can pick up a form there at your local library. But it could also be done on our website. And it's right on the first tab here. There's actually multiple opportunities on our website. But right on the first tab, if you hover over the I want to, people have the ability to register to vote, to check if they're registered to vote, and then a whole lot of other options here. Change their address, name, their political party, cancel their registration, re-register. So there's a lot of options for voters to update their registration, anything that they might need here. Once somebody is registered to vote, they will automatically receive a ballot in the mail for any election that they're eligible to vote in. So once you're a registered voter, you can expect to receive all election material for the election that you're eligible to vote in. So for example, if it's a countywide election, a state election, federal election, everyone that is registered in San Diego County will receive a postcard notifying them that the election is happening. They'll receive a voter information pamphlet, and they'll receive their official ballot in the mail with instructions on how to vote, your options for voting, your options for returning your ballot, and of course your I voted sticker. And the ballot is does include a postage paid envelope. if you look in the vote section of our website, this information is also available here. So no one has to memorize the presentation tonight. You can easily go to our website and just kind of navigate through, and you'll see all the things that we're talking about today. So a voter can know what their voting options are, where they can vote in person, how they can vote by mail, how to drop off a ballot. It's all here. They could even view their voter information pamphlet, request a new mail ballot if they didn't receive theirs or misplaced theirs, verify receipt of mail ballot. That's one that a lot of people are not aware of, but you can, there's a couple ways. This is one of them that you could check to see if your ballot has been received at the Registrar of Voters. Another one I will show you is, it's called, and let me just navigate over there. It's called Where's My Ballot? So this is another way to track your ballot. You sign up one time, and then moving forward, anytime there's an election that you're participating in, you will receive a notification letting you know that your ballot is on its way to you. And then we will also send you a notification once your ballot has been received in our office. So you only have to sign up for that tracking system once.
That
All
one's
right.
actually very exciting because you can actually see in real time when your ballot was received at the registrar. I think I signed up for a text. Do you do text alerts on that one, Rosie?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when you sign up, you'll have three options. You could choose to receive a phone call, a text message, or an email. And you could actually check off all three if you want to. I think I have email and text message checked off for mine. But yeah, it's true, Lori. You'll see it real time. It's nice to get the notification, letting you know to check your mailbox, right? A lot of us have those community mailboxes and we don't check them every day. So getting the notification, letting you know that your ballot is in the mail, could trigger you to go check the mail. So that's kind of nice. All right, so other things you'll find that you could do on our website. We mentioned viewing your information pamphlet, finding a vote center near you, a ballot drop box near you, your district representatives, and just a lot of good information here. I will mention that our website is updated as we go in the election cycle. So if you click on election information right now, there's not a whole lot yet because we're not actively in the cycle for November 5th yet. So at this point, we're letting you know there's a November 5th election, which you're all aware of. And we do give you some dates already. Links to check your registration. There's actually a really nice flyer here that you are welcome to use if you're someone that works with the community and you would like to share this information with others. You can print this very easily, take a picture of it, download it, and use it to share with the community because it has all of the important dates, as you can see here. I was trying to minimize it so you can get a full picture. All the important dates for the November 5th election, when the pamphlets start going out, when ballots go out, when early voting begins. So all the key deadlines are included in this flyer. So those are nice things that are posted, and you will see a lot more as we move through the election cycle. You'll start to see additional links here for people to click on. Excuse me, just one second. I'm gonna close my door. One moment.
While she's doing that, I just want to also point out, like, we get a lot of good data on this site too. They not only do they provide data and information for upcoming elections, but you will see on the bottom or the right side of your screen, they actually have information on past elections. So like if you're curious to know like what areas perhaps you need to hit in terms of like voter registration or informing voters who maybe weren't as active in the previous elections, the Registrar of Voters has information on those voters in their turnout report. So it really allows you to pinpoint exactly where you want to concentrate your efforts, you know, what geographic area maybe needs a little bit more information or education.
Yes, thank you, Lori. So I clicked on a couple of things as you were mentioning that. So you do have the ability to look at those reports. Of course, you'll have to make sense of the information, but for the most part, it's pretty easy to understand. And there's just a ton here. I'm trying to find, I think it's this one here. This is the one I like to use. It's called Election Night Reports, and you could look at the information on a list view. You could do pie charts, things like that. But also, as Lori mentioned, if you are doing voter registration, you want to see what turnout is like in different areas. So if you notice here, it tells you, let me back up here. Okay, so it tells you the election you're looking at, presidential primary election, gives you the registered voters. So for March, it was 1,931,547. And then it breaks down how many ballots were counted, how many of those were mail ballots, and how many were received at a vote center. So you can see the breakdown there. As you can tell, our county likes to vote by mail. The majority are mail ballots. And so the turnout overall was 36.5%. And then we have this nice map here that color codes turnout for you. So anything with this peach color is going to be your low turnout areas. And if you, let me just demonstrate this. If you hover over, you could actually zoom in, click on an area, and it will tell you what precinct that is. So for example, here, Choice Park, and it's telling me how many registered voters are in this precinct, how many votes were cast, and what the turnout was for March. So you could see that this area only had a 15.99% turnout. Again, anywhere on the map with this pink color, you're going to see the lower turnouts because it's color coded. So it is a nice way to get an idea of what areas had the low turnout. Anything with this dark green color would have been over 50%. And as you can see, we didn't have much of that for this election. So it is a nice tool to use if you're planning on doing some voter registration. It's all there for you to access. So let me just head back and where we were at.
Yeah, I think I kind of waylaid the conversation. I think you were going to talk about the voting process and how the ballots are processed when they come in and that whole thing. So sorry about that.
Okay, that's okay. So that information is on the right-hand side. That's one of the places. You can locate the results on multiple pages, but this is an easy way, whether results, past voter turnout, to access that information. So we have a nice handout, as you saw on that page. Again, there's a couple of ways to access it. It's our election security page. You can access it if you hover over the election tab. It's right in the middle column here, election security. And this really talks about how we process our ballots. It's really the whole life cycle of your ballot, from printing to mailing, once the voter returns the ballot, and then once we receive the ballot, all the way to the end. So this is something that a lot of people are interested in learning about. We always invite people who want to observe us processing ballots to come to the Registrar of Voters. We have a public area where every single room where there are ballots being processed are open for viewing to the public through their floor to ceiling windows that you can view all of the different activities that are taking place when ballots are being processed. So you can simply walk into the Registrar of Voters. It's all a public space, and you can start on one end of the aisle and go all the way down to the other end. And every room is a different function where we're processing ballots. So if you're interested in learning more about that process, I won't go through every single thing here, but this is a great handout. You can print it, you can email it to others and share it, because this really does describe a lot of what we do, everything we do really, when it comes to keeping ballots safe and secure. So when you come to the Registrar of Voters, you can see pretty much starting on step 4, when we receive your ballot. We have a room where all ballots come in. Any ballot that is received in an envelope is processed in this room. And we have charts up on the wall that describe what particular action is taking place in that room. But it starts off with our mail sorter. It scans every ballot that comes in, takes a picture of the signature and the identifying information, and it's time-stamped. And that tells us if someone has voted already, if we've received a ballot for them. And if they have, then that ballot is not going to move forward. It's going to be outstacked in a different pile for further investigation, because we would receive notification that that voter has already voted. So it catches, in that scan process, it catches any voter ID of someone who may have voted. It's important to remember, I think a lot of times people get caught up on things. I'll turn on my camera since I'm talking for a little bit. But it's important to remember that every voter has one voter identification number. So if a voter receives multiple ballots in the mail, it doesn't mean that those multiple ballots are active ballots that can be voted, because what it boils down to is that every voter ID is one person. So once a ballot is received for that voter ID, no matter how many times that voter tries to vote, whether in person or by mail, another ballot is not going to come into the system for that person, because that ID has already been received. So sometimes people will say, oh, well, I got multiple ballots in the mail, this is fraud. Well, it's not, because you could lose your ballot, call us, request another ballot, and we'll send you another one. You could vote both, send them both in. But remember, when we receive it, it's going to get scanned in and it's going to get time stamped. So the first ballot we receive with that voter ID is the one that's going to be counted. So this is a process that's observable that you can watch as they're being received and being uploaded on this machine. We do check every signature. Our Pitney Bowes machine does an initial scan, but all signatures are still checked with human eyes and compared. So we have a process. If you can think of something, we have a process for it. There's a lot of information to share. It would take, I'm already at 6:50, so I know you need to hurry, but it would take us a whole hour just to talk about election security on its own. But
do you want to take questions as you go? I mean, because you're right, we only have about 10 minutes left, and
Yep.
I wanted to be conscious of that. So do you want to, like, as you speak, just take questions, or do you want to wrap it up and open the floor?
Yeah, I'm happy to take questions. If anyone has any questions about this, I won't go into this further because, as you can see, there's a lot to talk about, but it's a wonderful resource for you to be able to read through and have a better understanding of what our processes are as far as election security. And I think that as far as our website, I pretty much shared most of what I wanted to share. You're still able to see the website, yes?
Yes.
Okay. You could browse through here on your own, look at poll worker information. As you all know, we always need poll workers. And again, things will get updated as we move through the cycle. And then community. This is a great place for you to access tools. We have a social media toolkit that anyone on this call can utilize. You can click on it and use these images to send out via social media if that's something that you use. But just a lot of really nice resources here for the community to be able to share with others. So I do encourage all of you to access the website. I would say 30 days before election day is when it's pretty complete as far as information. That's when you'll find your vote center location lists up, ballot drop box lists, everything that you really need. And then, of course, anyone interested in campaigns or campaign services, we have a whole section on that can be found here as well. Petition process, petition status, campaign finance disclosure, FAQs, all of that is on our website as well. All right, so I will take any questions that we might have. I know we're running out of time here.
Well, I have
Rosie, I'm curious if people have questions for you after this evening. Is there, or anybody else from the registrar voters, is there a better way for them to get a hold of you or Sue?
Yes, I could. Lori, would you mind sharing? You could share my information and Sue's as well if you'd like to send it out to the group. Does that work, or do you want me to just share our information now? Is that easier?
Yeah, I can share it. Or you mean just like your email address, or is there like just a standard?
Yeah, our email addresses are fine. We respond pretty quickly with email. And of course, you can always call our main line and be transferred to one of us as well. So that's an option.
If you clicked on directory find us and typed in your name, would it go to you? Or is it just, oh, it's just a location, a map?
It's a pretty it's our general page, but you could see that we are here under, actually, we don't have a specific phone number. So it gives you, this is our main number, the 858-565-5800. If you call that phone number and just ask for me or Sue, they will transfer the call to us. Or Lori, we are happy for you to share our information too.
Yeah, I'll share the email address.
Okay,
But I don't have, do I have Sue's? I know I have yours, obviously, but
I will send you Sue's.
yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you all for your attention. Sorry, it's so much information to share, but I tried my best to condense it and make it as short as possible.
Do you take calls on like the days leading up to the election day and on the day for like last minute information or questions? Not
Us
you personally.
specifically, or okay, yes, we actually have a hotline that runs the whole month prior. So as soon as early voting starts, 30 days prior to election day or the last day to vote, we open our call center. So anyone with any type of question, please give us a call. Someone will answer. It's our call center hotline, and there's a lot of people working, and they're well trained to have knowledge on pretty much everything. So they should be able to answer your question. And if for some reason they can't, they will point you to the right person.
Yeah, I can testify. I've made phone calls myself because the league sometimes gets calls from people who drop their ballot in the mud puddle or whatever. And so we've used the Registrar of Voters hotline for questions that we just did not know the answer to in real time. So I really appreciate all that, the community outreach that you do and the accessibility. I mean, your website, as we talked about, is just so robust, and it's just a really amazing service that I think the Registrar of Voters does for the citizens, the voters.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And yeah, if there's any type of question, we probably have an answer or a solution. If you get a voter in distress for any reason and they need to vote, give us a call and we will help find a solution. So, all right.
Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you all for your attention. And thank you, Sue, for joining me as well. And please reach out if we could be of any assistance or help with anything else in the future.
Thank you very much. It was very informative.
Okay. Have a
Right.
good night. Thank you.
You too.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
everybody. Have a good
Bye-bye.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Hi.
Good night.